Hello everyone, welcome to Unity for Gaia. I am Ivan, and this is Melibel. And what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about spiritual bypassing and New Age pitfalls.
Which is something that, unfortunately, when you go through your remembrance process, awakening process, because you're so excited about discovering that you're not just this being in this physical suit, that there are many aspects of you. You may discover that you have a connection with other realms, whether it's elemental realms, whether it's angelic realms, whatever flavor it is, galactic. That you may at times get distracted with other teachers that are doing their work, but they're also putting content and information out there to help yourself. But there's a dependency on other people's knowledge and other people's way of coming up with that information that is very beneficial for oneself, and to remember that we all have all the answers within ourselves. Are we going to actually make time to discover those answers for ourselves, or are we going to constantly be going and depend on someone else to give us our own answers, our own guidance, our own inner knowing? As an example, and this is not a knock on anyone that does any, card readers or psychic, palm readers, and I'm not even going to go down that route. My point is going to someone else to find your own answers, when all your answers, you can find them within yourself if you give yourself the opportunity to actually come across and come up with those answers within yourself. And maybe via meditation, via sensation within your body as you just are quiet with yourself, or it may come as a synchronicity. Watching signs as you drive in your daily commute or what have you, or having someone start talking to you out of nowhere about a topic that you were even contemplating, in which you were looking for certain answers within a certain named topic. It's just that giving your power to other people and looking for answers externally versus we're looking for answers internally, which is connecting with yourself, your divine essence, call it your guides, call it source, God, your angels, your guardian angels, your totem animals.
Intuition.
There you go.
Yes, that would definitely be one of the New Age traps, right? That you can really fall into. You get because there's so much out there that you can really kind of get sidetracked just listening to, like the card readers, the astrology, what's going on with this, what's going on with that. And it kind of puts a pause on doing your own work. And one of the ways that really it tends to affect people when they've had their awakening, they're starting to go through that process, is that it allows for the spiritual bypassing. The spiritual bypassing is, I've had this awakening, this energy has started to flow through me. That can come from an illness. It can come from the loss of a loved one, a traumatic event, something that's maybe really shaken you up. Sometimes it just happens out of the blue. People have experienced that from, Qigong and different yoga practices and things like that as well. But what happens when you start to have that energy awaken is it starts to move through the body and bring things up to be healed and cleared. And that's when the real work needs to happen, and you really need to take that dive in. But instead, it's like, well, I'm awake now, so I'm just gonna all that over here, and I'm just gonna move over to the New Age traps, right? I'm gonna start getting entertained. I'm gonna, work on like getting my third eye on and getting my crown open, and everyone gets very focused up here, and there's a lot of stuff out there that allows and feeds for you to get focused, in those upper energy centers, in those upper chakras. But you gotta do the work down here, right? That real deep work in those first 3 energy centers and coming up into your heart. And there's so much there that needs to be cleared out in the physical body, the energetic body. the mental body, the emotional body, and that's the really tough work. And there's, again, new age traps out there that really kind of just assist in bypassing and not doing the real work and getting in there, which, you know, there is no easy fix for that. The westernized medicine, like quick fix, there isn't one. You have to invest the time and energy into working on self.
Right. And as far as the pitfalls or traps that people may fall in, is recognizing, oh my God, I am an aspect, I am a fractal of this archangel or that archangel, or I've discovered that I'm an elemental, I'm from the fairy realm, or wow, I can talk to unicorn energies or unicorns, period. I communicate with them and all that, and oh my God, this is so exciting. It is very exciting when you're up here, heads in the clouds, and per se, what about the feet on the ground? What's going to support your constant evolution if you don't have strong roots, a strong foundation? And when you're constantly in the ethers, in going to different realms and different realities in that form, which is fun, but let's be real. We're all in a human physical body. We're in a human physical suit. We're here to be humans and assist all of the collective. And what I almost feel like a father now. What favor are you doing to your fellow brothers and sisters, your human family? What favor are you doing to yourself, more specifically, when you're constantly escaping reality and not addressing your reality? You know, a lot of it, root chakra stuff, comes from, and I'll just use some examples, financial stability. I have to do this, survivability. If I don't do this, I don't have that. How do I pay my bills? What do I gotta make sure that I have? What literally brings anxiety to one? And anxiety stems from an imbalance within the root chakra. You're not stable, you're insecure, you're stuck in the fight or flight. So start addressing what creates that fight or flight, that I gotta do this because this is all I know, and I don't have time for this. I gotta make sure I handle this, that. Okay, well that's great if you can do that, and you can do that because obviously you have. But do you really need to do those things? And if you do, then take care of them. You're growing adults. You're going through your process. You're learning how to be human. Let's be honest, how to survive. But are you some of those things that people use as excuses to distract yourselves from addressing your own insecurities within yourself? And that's where a lot of the work really needs to be, should be. My guides are correcting me. Should be, suggestion, not telling you, should be focused. They're always really good about reminding me about that. You don't tell anyone what to do. You suggest, and it's their choice. So it's your choice if you want to address your own internal issues, and a lot of it comes up as an emotional energy frequency, as an emotion, which tells you what causes that discomfort. And start figuring out where that discomfort comes from. That's how you start working through all your processes. If there's a uneasiness within the body, start figuring out where it comes from. A lot of it is something that you've been taught, whether it's culture, whether it's just the way you grew up, the environment that you grew up. And some of them, you may be surprised, may come from other lifetimes. I know that's been the case with me as of recent, just discovering my lineage and things of that nature, where I have felt it physically within my body and I addressed it and meditated, and in meditation talked to that ancestor of mine and healed that. So, and by healing that is literally me being the counselor and showing that love, that just like a best friend giving a best friend advice. You can let go of this. You don't need to carry that weight. It's not doing you any favors. So please let go of that remorse, that guilt, whatever that is. and allow yourself just to be lighter, because a lot of people carry a lot of guilt, unfortunately, from families that are judgmental, what would people say, that type of thing. And that carries weight, and weight manifests in physical weight within the body. You start addressing a lot of that stuff, that's how some of that weight actually starts falling off without even shifting your diet per se. But there's many factors to that, and that's what we mean about addressing your first 3 chakras: your root chakra, your sacral chakra, your sexuality, your creativity, your solar plexus chakra, where a lot of your emotions are tied in with your family. And so if you have any sort of physical ailments that manifest in that region, there may be a thing that you've been carrying for a long time from a argument or disagreement with a family member that has manifested in some sort of ailment within the body. But once you start digging into a lot of that, you literally, and what I mean by digging is feeling your way through it. Don't get in the mindset of, okay, dig, how do I dig? How do I dig? No, just feel into that feeling and allow whatever information, and this is what my guides were showing me this morning, just feel that feeling. And that feeling will tell you everything. As you feel into that feeling, certain imageries at times come up, certain emotions come up that start painting the picture, and your imagination starts giving you the scenery of what's going on there. So, that's one way to do it.
Well, it's so unique to every person, the way you need to take your own healing journey, depending on what it is, what your lineage is, right, your heritage, the ancestry that you've come from, what you've inherited, what's been carried forward generation after generation, what you've experienced in your own life, in your own incarnations. So you have the imprints of your other lifetimes, everything there that hasn't been healed that you're carrying in your soul matrix, as well as what is in the DNA of the physical body you're incarnated in. So it's a lot of layers and a lot of stuff, and it's so unique to each person and their own individual expression, the different kinds of traumas, the different things you've seen. So there is no just one size fits all answer as far as that goes, but there is, tried and true ways to get the energy flowing to assist you in bringing those things up, to find what you need to heal and clear, to find those blocks, different yogic practices, meditation practices, breath work, things that get the energy moving. And the reason that we're really focused on this right now is because so many people, you see it all the time, we've done it.
We're guilty of it.
We've done it where we're like, what's my mission? What's my purpose? Why am I here? What am I supposed to do? What am I going to help people with, right? And we feel this overwhelming need to help people, that we're here on a mission, but we've got so much like gunk flying around of our own that we haven't cleared out. We're not even sure what it is. And all kinds of programs, patterns, disempowering stuff that we've carried over, that we've been given since childhood, wherever it comes from, that has to be healed and cleared to, one, allow you to assist others, to get on your path, to be a better healer, to allow your creativity to come forth. Whatever it is that's blocking you, that's why it's so important to do your work and to not, try to take that spiritual bypass. Everybody that we're talking about here, because, we've seen it. I even did some of it myself, where it's like, oh, I've awakened, and oh my gosh, and this is the truth of the world, and here we are, and blah, blah, blah. And then it's like the new age traps come along, and you're caught up in these groups, these chats, and following, certain things, and you just kind of get lost in there, and you stop doing your own work. And while sometimes there's very motivating messages in there, hey, you are source. We are all one. We are all this. We are all that. We're going to do this. We're going to shift this planet, blah, 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 blah. But there's no real tools and getting into the nitty gritty work that actually makes you do that. And I understand one of the reasons is because you see and you hear from people all the time as well as see it in different chats and groups where the one of my favorite New Age traps, which is, where's the mothership coming to take me? Are aliens going to take me home? When are they going to take me off this planet? Hey, psst, you came to help shift the planet. And if you're aware of that on any level, then you should know that if you're feeling like you want to leave, there's some work here in the physical vessel that you live in and occupy while you're here. Some stuff that needs to be cleaned out so that you can feel connected, so that you can clean those lower energy centers, so you can come into your heart and you can feel connected to everything and all that is, and find that outpouring of love that assists with all of humanity, with whether it's the animals, you know, the ecosystem, the people, whatever it is that you are here to do, but really finding that heart-centered connection. And that takes going within and clearing out all the crud that's blocking you from having that, and to allow the creativity and that energy to flow and to just pour it out and want to give it to humanity. So definitely the New Age traps, while there's some entertainment value there, at this point it's kind of, it's entertainment, right? It's just,
it is.
It's like, well, I could sit down and watch like an old, you know, rerun of the Brady Bunch or something on Nickelodeon or whatever. I don't know. I don't watch TV really anymore, so I don't know what's on. But, you know, you could do that. You could watch Netflix, or you could actually like learn some real things that are actually helping you and going within. Some yogic practices, some breath work, some meditation practices, finding out about, you know, your chakras and the different healing modalities that are out there, and trying some of them out and finding what works for you and sticking with it.
Right. Where was I going to go with this? Oh, just how you can be a fan. Oh, look at that word. A fan of someone because of how charismatic they are.
Oh, look at that, a word.
Yeah, a word. Fan. You become a fan of some of these entertainers. They're very intuitive. They can do this. They have their third eye on. They're seeing angels. They're doing this. They're doing that. Blah 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 blah. Every human being has the ability to see light beings, aka angels, aka higher density beings, aka galactic beings. Yeah, it's not exclusive to one person. So the more you start learning how to, what chakras are, how to clear your energy, how to move energy, how to start communicating with your guides and allowing your guidance team to actually show you and teach you, whether you're being guided to watch a video, read a book, whatever the information. A lot of times it may not even make sense. I read this book, I read that book, I read that book, I watched this video over here, I watched this video over here. I know I have communication with my guides, but it seems like I'm being scattered all over the place. And then once you get all that pieces of information or tools, all of a sudden it all pulls in together, and now you know what your purpose is, because you have all this knowledge base that you pulled in from all these different resources, and you have a better idea how to, again, work with energies, work with all of your chakras, and continue to grow in that process. A lot of these teachers that are true teachers, that are actually here to assist humanity, and assist you remembering what you have forgotten, what we all have forgotten, because I'm still remembering. They're still working on themselves. They have not stopped. They may be teachers, but they're sharing their own experience and how they've come to all this information to help you help yourselves. And it's different for everyone. You know, follow what you gravitate towards. You know, you may follow a certain person, a certain teacher that has certain knowledge and shares it in a certain way. Then after a while, then you get bored with them, and you're like, okay, well, let me follow another one. Okay, now I get bored. Then you may come to a certain point where you just don't care to entertain anyone else. That's when that's for me anyways, is when I started going inward and saying, okay, well, these are phenomenal examples. Now I can start introspecting within myself and figuring out, how do I work with this body and figure out what needs to be addressed, what issues I have within myself. Some of them may be conscious or subconscious. Others may be hereditary, like Malibel was saying. A lot of it may be encoded in your DNA. And because I'm such a literal person, I'm like, okay, where's the DNA? What's it look at? Where's it reside? It's like what's in your nucleus, in your atoms. That's where all that information is stored. So when you meditate and focus on just imagining an atom and imagining the strands of DNA, twisting, and you start imagining and feeling your way to, okay, what, and I look at it like a light bulb. What here is not lit? Okay, well that needs to dissipate, and that needs to dissipate, and I need to bring divine God source light into that part of my DNA, and that there where it seemed like it was turned off, I'm literally infusing it with light, and so now it's turned on and turned on and turned on. So that helical hole continues to light up, light up, light up, light up, light up, light up. And just like that, a lot of that, you may feel a little funny, actually, afterwards. Your body might feel a little, ooh, what happened? But that's because it's just your body readjusting to itself, to its organic original blueprint of how it's designed. But it's important to invest the time within yourself and figure yourself out. That question of who am I? Well, that's one way to figure out who you are from a cellular level, and then going outward and outward and outward. It's like layers. What's that Russian doll called?
The nesting doll?
Yeah, the nesting doll.
Something there that you touched on as well, which is another one of the New Age traps, is that getting obsessed with gifts coming online.
Right.
You know, I want to see through my third eye. I want to, you know, talk to whoever, you know. I want to see Babaji. I want to be connected with Kuan Yin. I want to, you know, Archangel Michael or whatever it is. And there's a lot of that. And by the way, there's a lot of imposters out there running around if you're not aware of what you're connecting with.
Shapeshifters. Hello.
Believing that you are channeling something you are not. So that's not what this video is about. We're not going to go into that right now. But just because, you know, it's become so like catchy and like avant-garde, like, oh, I'm talking to this being and that being and so and so. If you are connected with anyone and you have any real connection, it should be your own team, your higher self, like your own. It's here. It's what is all connected with me. It's not some external, right? First of all, and
you talking to you.
Secondly, in a lot of the Eastern philosophies, you know, Buddhist, Hindu, different traditions that are really the ones who have worked on their spirituality for thousands of years and moving the Kundalini, and a lot of those practices that are actually tried and true, that work, that take time and investment. You know, you're not going to get them by being an armchair warrior and watching 2 videos on the weekend. That's not the way it happens. But one of the things that they teach is that while those psychic abilities are great and they're inherent in all of us, that's not really what the awakening and this process is about. It's about healing. It's about clearing everything out of the way that is the false self, to be able to come into union with the source, energy, God, whatever vernacular you want to use, that you are part of, that we all are part of, and to feel that union with everything, that true unity, which comes through sovereignty. The sovereignty of doing your healing, your work of being free and clear of everything that has blocked you from feeling that oneness with love and source and the energy that you are. So while, you know, it's really cool that it's like, hey, you know, this person's advertising that they can see through their third eye, and this, I can tell you right now that if you can see in the astral and you can actually project out of your body, if you are not prepared to know what you are going to see there, you would be so freaked out, scared, shocked, and it would probably traumatize you more than it is worth. Like, you don't know because you can't see. Everyone thinks that they're just gonna like see like, oh my gosh, it's where all the sparkles are and all the, you know, this, just that, and the other thing.
Just the angels, the fairies, the unicorns.
You know, it's not. There's a lot of snarf going on.
So define snarf.
Snarfy energies, I call them snarf, like weird, like, you know, like the things that want to like stick on you like paste, that hang out, the things you can't see, the dark little corded energies that weave through, all that stuff. It's
so
I call it the snarfy energy.
I will ask a question, because you have plenty of experience with this, sort of, kind of, maybe. When you start seeing into the astral, okay, we're gonna pretend that we're going on a tour.
Okay.
And if we're on this beautiful tour bus, going into the astral, what are we seeing to the left and to the right of us? If we're just moseying about, diddy popping. I'm just a happy little soul going through here. Never been here on this side of town. What is this?
It's the next level up, I guess you could say. I don't even like saying level up, this up down like thing, you know what I mean? It's just,
how about layer?
It's another dimension. It's the one right outside of this physical one you're seeing. So it's the one that's closest, like in frequency, right? So you see everything in a, like, okay, so when I'm in bed at night and I come up, you know, if I astrally like sit up out of my body, because there's something weird in the room that I can't see with my physical eyes, then I see you sleeping, right? The astral, I see you and I see everything. The energy, it's a little more, it's a different holographic structure, so it looks a little bit different, but generally the same, but I'll see what else is there, because this has happened, you know, several times to me over the years, and recently we've just had an issue with this. Weird things wanting to come in, and energies and beings that can move through that realm and in that state, and they want to come in while you're sleeping. That's like where the sleep paralysis and a lot of those kind of things come from. So not so nice beings. Right, because they're sneaking around, but they have the ability to affect you there so profoundly, right? That it affects the physical body. Yes. Here. Yes. So they usually that's like their realm of combat, I'd like to say, because I've had everything from like holding me down, where like actually I'm trying to sit up out of my body, and when I finally like push through and sit up, they're just like, it reminds me of the cartoons where the eyeballs get all wide, like, oh crap, she did it. Like, right. We weren't able to hold her down. Right. Or my throat, me wanting to like speak and project tones of different things to like clear or address them, and move them away. Like I'm like being affected in my throat, like almost like I can't get it out, right? So that's it's just such a, it's so strange. It can be so strange. Like, that's why people are very, that's another thing. Like, I want to learn how to astral project. You know, that's another new age trap. I want to learn how to astral project. I don't know how I learned how to astral project, because I was doing it as a child. And it was just like, oh, I'm going to, like, right now I need to step out of the body. It's not like I'm just astrally wandering around all the time. For me, it's usually been a situation where there's something weird going on, to the point that I can feel it so much, or it's a threat, that I need to like see it, and my body is in sleep state, right? So then it's like oh, what's going on? Right. It's an instinctual reaction to whatever is around. And okay, I'll say it this way. So, going back to spiritual bypassing, a lot of people want to get this third eye turned on. I want to be able to perceive all these layers, which she is able to see. I am perceiving more and more as I continue to go through my process. I don't like saying the whole careful what you wish for, but people need to be mindful what they wish for. Because if you're walking around and you're able to see an entity or energy or a spirit that's attached to someone, and then you see the physical face here shift and change into another face, if you have your third eye on and you're not ready to see that type of stuff, it can be a little bit traumatizing. So this is the careful what you wish for. This is the work through your root, sacral, solar plexus. Work through those chakra centers, where a lot of fear and stuff is stored. Bingo. Because if you don't have that cleared, and you're not, you know, you have a lot of that, and as soon as the fear and the frequency kicks in, bam, Like
they
got you.
You literally become a buffet, an energetic buffet for these entities, because that's what they feed off of, energy. They feed off of fear, a lot of the negative polarized, negative labels of our emotional spectrum, I'll just say it that way. That's their energy source. We feed them when we are in fear, when we're in fight or flight, when we're anxious and what have you. So when you start addressing all the internal traumas, all the hurt, all the violation of boundaries and things like that within yourself, and you fully heal, and you can literally go to that person in your life that has wronged you tremendously and look at them, and not with hate or anything, but just to acknowledge, okay, you obviously didn't know what you were doing. We were dumb. We were whatever the reason, but to be at peace, to look at another person that has wronged you so bad to where you don't have any emotional charge or hold anything within yourself that you want to cause harm to someone else, and find just that neutrality there, but also acknowledging that you're not going to be a doormat for anyone, and continue to work through all of that. That's how you start clearing all that emotional charge within yourself, within yourselves, within your chakra centers that are causing you all that discomfort. And in doing that, you are healing your body, because you are healing yourself by addressing that. So and once you start doing that, let's start how the tree grows from the root all the way up. Work through your root, sacral, solar plexus, hearts turned on. You can discern when it's, okay, I'm going to love you from afar, but I'm not going to literally give myself to you. I'm going to love you at a distance. You play however you choose to play. I'm going to play however I choose to play. But I'm not going to allow you to siphon my love or my energy in that way. Work through your throat chakra. Learn how to speak your truth. As you start mastering and clearing all this, then comes your third eye. You have nothing within this realm that will trigger you or put you in fear. So you can have a 18-foot being looking like some of the worst horror movies, stories, or whatever, and visually you will not be affected. You might be like, well, wow, you're an ugly looking freaking thing, or whatever, but you'll just view it without fear and say, what do you need? What? You can keep on walking. Thank you. Have a good day. But you don't go into this shock and, oh my God, or being frozen by fear. You know how to own your sovereignty. You're standing your ground, and you're addressing that energy accordingly. You know, so that's
and the root, when you were talking about the root, it made me think of, our dog's having a meltdown. It made me think of just like the roots of a tree, right? Like if you have a plant, we just had a plant where this happened. And it's funny because as you're saying this, I realized we've both been doing a lot of like going through the root chakra again and going deeper and deeper in root chakra clearing. And this plant we had, a Dieffenbachia, actually like wasn't doing well, the leaves, and it was all the roots that had been just rotten and no good, right?
I'll be back.
Okay. But it shows you that if the root is bad, like the plant is not going to survive, right? The root was rotten. It wasn't any good. So, I mean, there's an actual manifestation that you're seeing in the plants of exactly what we are speaking of, which is just that. Clearing and healing at the very base layer and coming up through from there. And you know, lots of times, and it's happened with, like, it's mistaken for some form of like a psychosis or a mental breakdown where people have a spontaneous kundalini, spontaneous spiritual awakening, and it triggers off this like dark night of the soul, or it brings so much stuff to the surface that they don't have the tools or they're not equipped to handle it, and they end up getting medicated, which just shuts everything down. Right. It can happen naturally. Kundalini yoga has actually in the past been known for, you know, setting that off on people. And some people, you know, from doing like different psychedelics and drugs like that, they blow themselves open and they're not prepared. And in addition, You know, if you're not with like a really well-trained shaman and using it as an actual plant medicine, you got all kinds of dark stuff that could talk about seeing the astral and what's around you. You know, you're open, and then all these things can connect and come in. So it's really, it is important if you want to bring more energy in and you want to be able to have these, what most people are considering to be mastery psychic skills, which should be inherent to all of us, but have been turned off for so long. Think of how long they've been turned off. Think of all the layers of crap that's there, that's been part of blocking them, and from the DNA and from the true divine human template to be turned back on. So much has to be healed and cleared. And if you're here and you're on this path and you're watching a video like this and you're watching stuff about awakening and spirituality and aliens and whatever else you're paying attention to, then you've come to help. And the biggest way you can begin that process is by doing your work and healing. Find some healers and some modalities. Sit and meditate. What resonates with you? What do you like to do? What feels good to you? And try some things out. And you have to give them more than just like a one-off too, because very often, especially if you got some stuff that doesn't want to be healed or cleared, or you got some weird energies hanging around in your field that don't want you to find them and disconnect them.
No kidding.
You will try some modalities and you'll be like, oh, this is not for me. And very often, the ones you feel that way about are exactly the ones for you, because there's a block there that doesn't want to be cleared. There's something there that, you know, there's a protective mechanism or whatever it is that doesn't want you to do the work to heal and clear it. So sometimes it's just sticking with it and trying it, you know, several times. The consistency. Yep.
Yeah. You brought me back to the breath work that I was having, and clearing my ancestry and things like that. Especially growing up in religion and what have you. As I was doing breath work, this beautiful soul was telling me that there was a being that showed up that looked human, but I'm not going to give any more details than that did not want me to continue doing the breath work, because it was gonna, and when I see beings like that challenge me or do not want me to move forward with a certain modality, they are literally reiterating that I am right on point to move forward that modality. There are certain energies, entities that don't want you to move forward, because you're going to empower yourself more. The more you empower yourself more, the more you disempower them. And they depend on us being disempowered to continue to have that control mechanism and manipulation to continue to feed off of our fears that we have. Some of those fears are not even fears of mine. Some of those fears are fears that have been passed down through my lineage, through my DNA, through my ancestry and things of that nature. So that's why it's very important to just, when it's said do the work, you can shift that to invest in yourself. If you want to be more intuitive, if you want to be more connected, if you want to be more enlightened, whatever it is, invest in yourself. No one's going to do the work for you. I don't care how many people you see, how many videos or books you read, which knowledge is power, but the book is not going to do the work for you. You have to do it for yourself.
They're guides.
Yeah,
They're guides.
They are guides. They are tools there for us to help. I was going to say entool us. Weird. Empower us, but use them properly. Find who you are. Who am I? What am I? What is my mission? And don't get caught up in, well, my mission is this, and it's got to be this, and it's got to be this way, and I have to dredge it that way. And no, I can't deviate because it has to be that way. Don't do that. When you do that, you're actually fighting against your divine self. You're fighting against your divine guidance. It's good if you're navigating a certain way, but then something shifts, and then you're going this way. And then it's, oh, I got to go this way. Oh, now I got to go back down. Now I got to go this way. Allow yourself to flow wherever you're guided to go. And that's how you start discovering who you are. And you really start discovering what your purpose is and how you are meant to assist, if you choose to assist humanity in whatever form that may be. So but don't depend on other people to tell you, or someone
who you are.
Exactly who you are. Or even, I'm gonna put myself on the spot. Someone comes to me and it's like, Ivan, so what am I? Okay, I say, do you have a connection to this, that? What's your connection with? I'm gonna use Michael, put him on the spot, Archangel Michael. And there might be certain things that I recognize from that energy that is Archangel Michael. And I start pointing out little nuances that the person may say, yeah, I'm this way, I'm that way. Would you happen to feel that you are a fractal energy of Archangel Michael? And then that person may be like, oh my God, yes, it totally resonates, that, yes, I am absolutely a fractal of Archangel Michael. Don't get stuck in just, I'm a fractal of Archangel Michael. You're a fractal of many.
You're a fractal of Source. That's the point, is make your connection with Source.
Right.
That's the big one, is people, that's another New Age trap, is getting caught in, oh, I'm, connected, just like how you see people, and it's been happening for decades. They have that, they go through like some type of deep spiritual awakening, and they think they are Jesus, right? Or Buddha or whatever, right? And feel very connected just to that energy. At the very most common denominator level, we are all that. I'm you, right. You're him, I'm me, because whatever, we're all Source, right? We all come from that same energy, and we've all spread, Source has spread itself to many, right? So in that way, yes, but that getting caught on identifying with being something else, and
don't get stuck on a label. And
that's, that's another thing where it's like, I don't know. I was telling Ivan this, and I don't think he liked hearing it, but it was my come from. I'm like, do you think that these really powerful ascended masters and beings have time to be channeling through 600 people on Earth every day and sending, no, that's not what's going on. They're not sitting upstairs in their ascended master's study and being like, oh, look, who's here to talk to me today? I have nothing else to do. So
True story. True story. But for me, that was a lesson in discernment. Who am I connecting with? Who am I talking to? Who's pretending to be Archangel Michael? Again, here, even the name Archangel Michael gets tossed around a lot, and I'm not dissing it. I'm not bashing it. I'd rather say it is a phenomenal energy, and I'm not going to discredit, but a lot of people get caught up in I'm a fractal of this, I'm a fractal of that, I'm a fractal of that. When you really start discovering yourself, and I'm going to say it this way, you start discovering that there's an aspect of you that's female, there's an aspect of you that's male, there's an aspect of you that comes from the elemental kingdom, there's an aspect of you that may be a grain of sand, a stone, a leaf, whatever, from other dimensions, from other galaxies. There's many you-uses. There's many of uses everywhere. So do not get caught up with the labels of mythologies. And I'm using that term very loosely. I'm including all the books on this beautiful planet. Mythologies. And don't get fixated on, I am this because I feel this strongly in my heart, which that may be true. If it feels true to you, it's true truth. However, take the label off. And then what do you have?
How does it help you? And does it matter? Is it fun? It's the New Age fun, man. It's fun. It's cool. But does it matter? Is it something that's going to bring your gifts forward, bring your healing forward, and assist you in what you came here to do, to heal, to be clear, and to assist your family, your friends, your own soul growth and experience, learning that discernment and helping humanity. You know, it's just that, like, come back to center. Does this help me? Is this pertinent? You know,
right?
If you want to look at it that way, like in the law system, like, is this pertinent to? Is it matter, or is it something peripheral? Right? Is it actually pertinent to what is happening here? The facts, the things that matter, right? So it falls into that, like, entertainment category. And I know I ruffle a lot of feathers when I say that, because that's just not my...
I'm going to add a little something more.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of cat beings. Some people may know them as Lyrans. Some people may not. Anyways, I'm not going to invest too much time there. My point is, there's cat beings that a lot of people they have been labeled as Lyrans. Okay, there's an aspect of myself that's a Lyran, blah blah. And I'm just using a metaphor as an example. This version of myself has this life over here, and he or she is a lion king or queen, and they have this life, and they have these children, and they do this and that and da da da, and their existence over there is all this, and their culture is this way. Okay, congratulations. You've just discovered an aspect of yourself that has an existence in a different colony, in a different planet, in a different galaxy. Congratulations. How does that help here? That's where we talk about the New Age traps. It's great that you connect with another aspect of yourself that has a beautiful existence elsewhere, or another aspect of yourself, whether it's in the past, from a linear perspective, or in the future, and you've discovered that version of you that is you does this, does that, does all this wonderful stuff. How does that help you here? Because a human being is here. That other version is where they're existing, and whatever. Talking to my big cat. Whatever happens in that location stays in that location. Whatever happens here stays and affects here. And what we're here to do is to assist how we affect here, this reality, and helping all of us collectively to reawaken, I prefer saying re-remember everything that we've forgotten, and how we can be of assistance to each other, more specifically to yourself. Work on yourself. You are the priority. And once you have learned to master you as the priority, you can prioritize the people and the beings around you, because now you're a better guide. Okay, they're saying guide, assistant, or whatever fashion you choose to assist your brothers and sisters on this beautiful planet. So that's the way I have learned. That's the way my guides have assisted me in viewing it from that perspective. And one of my beloveds, her big cat, her beautiful feline being, said something to me at one point that hurt my feelings, but rang very true. Don't get married to the storyline. Which implied to me, just because there are certain relationships in different locations and different realities does not apply here. What applies here is what's happening here. It's great if you can learn something from other aspects and bring that knowledge forward here and assist in us learning how to be better stewards of this beautiful planet, of all of us.
But again, you have to do your work to bring that knowledge forward, or it's going to be useless. There you go.
Spoiler alert. It comes back full circle.
Do your work. Do your work.
It's true. It comes back full circle. It is that. It is that. You don't give a 5-year-old the keys to the brand new vehicle and tell them, yeah, go take it for a ride. You gotta
just put your foot on the gas when you want to go. Hit the pedal on the left when you want to stop. Right?
Yeah, smash it and smash it. Give me whiplash. I was like, I'm going, son of a biscuit eater. Who's driving up there? But it's just that. It's just that. You have to grow within yourself. Grow with yourself. Grow, expand, correlation, hint. And it's that. Don't allow yourself to be distracted just because, oh, so-and-so is very intuitive, or is very this, or is very that. So-and-so can see angels. Should ask them, what do angels look like?
Lots of times they're light beings and they're higher dimensional beings. Like, some of those things have been so misconstrued over time anyways.
Yes, or even here's another one that a lot of people get caught up, and this is very egoic. If you're working on your expansion, the ego has many deaths.
Depths?
Death.
Deaths? Deaths?
Dies many times. Yeah.
Okay.
The ego dies many times. The more you clear all... Okay, so the false identity or distorted ego comes from all those insecurities. So you start addressing that, your ego starts shifting more and more. And then all of a sudden there's a lot less ego, and there's a lot more of your true essence within the body. That's what I meant by ego deaths, dying time and time again. And I've seen and just heard people talk about, well, I'm living a fifth dimensional existence or a fifth dimensional reality. We're still vibrating at a third dimensional frequency, fourth dimensional frequency. We're not in the fifth dimension. We're still in physical bodies. Can you go ahead and elaborate on that? Because I know that's been something that...
Well, it's people want to talk about, it all gets like thrown into this pot that's chaotic. Yeah. From like the way I see it and understand it is there's the higher consciousness, right? That bringing in your higher self. And the more work you do on self, the more you can embody and the more you have access to that and you vibrate at a higher frequency. It's all about getting our frequency higher, our vibratory rate, you know, that's what we're working on, right? And so there's a lot of this like, I'm going to 5D, which is part of that weird like PSYOP New Age program where like New Earth was going to split off and where there's going to be a 5D reality where only the chosen ones get to go. Sounds like religion. You know, where they get to go and they get to blow off into, you know, their fantasy land where they eat goji berries all day and swim with dolphins. And the rest of the people are like here in the shadow world going, oh man, how come I missed the boat? Like, what did I do wrong? I'm not the chosen one or whatever, however that goes. And if you were, are you talking about dimension or density? Because those are two different things, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of, it just gets thrown together and people are like, oh, I don't want to deal with the 3D people. I'm so 5D. Guess what? If you're here and you're saying that to somebody, you're still here with them and you're still in the 3D. Like, you didn't blow off into another dimension, okay? You're not on Tiamat or somewhere else, another dimension, time, space, reality. You're here with the rest of us. We're all in this together. I can still see you and I can still touch you and you can still touch yourself and you're not, you know, going through walls or whatever else. So just that people get very like, and I understand you're saying that you're holding more energy and light. You're bringing in more of your true essence. You want to have that higher vibration, that higher frequency of consciousness, of light, energy, love, source. That's what it's about. But you bring it in here to these bodies. You're still here with the rest of us. You know, you're not, it has an elitist weirdness to it. And that comes into spiritual bypassing and weird new age traps written right up on our board up there that we're using. True. Once again, right? So, yeah, that's a big one that's
yeah, we've talked about
quite a bit. And
the whole purpose of a lot of people have this concept of, oh, I'm a starseed, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm an envoy, I'm part of this program, I'm part of assisting all of humanity. But if you're saying, oh, I'm gonna grab a group of us that have made the mark and all the rest of you can go off with yourselves and we're gonna go live in bliss and sing kumbaya and yada yada and all this stuff. Well, if you're a starseed and you're saying that you came here to assist, you came to assist everyone, not a select few, because that sounds like a lot of the baloney that's already out there of, oh, I'm gonna be part of the cool kids club and then I can elevate to the next frequency and I can look down at people. First off, why are you looking down at people? Should you not be elevating people? Think about that. And again, if someone's truly that intuitive and that connected, there's a level of humbleness that comes with knowing more of who you are. There's levels They're correcting me.
Humility.
Humility.
Yes.
Levels of love. If you're truly love embodied, there's no one being left behind. So, food for thought for people that say, well, I'm very 5D, I'm very, unless you're levitating, going through walls, or phasing in and teleporting from one location to another location, bilocating, or all these, and even then, are you really fifth dimensional? Just wanted to put that out there just because some people get too caught up in their egoic perception of I'm gonna get on my soapbox. Your soapbox is barely an inch off the ground. It's not that high. Let's stop the bullshit, guys. Don't kid yourself and don't kid the people around you, because then you just look at you guys. Whoever chooses to participate that way, it's your choice, it's your free will, but you end up looking like a bit of a jerk. Just saying. Just saying. I say
yes,
it with
in their spare time, they're up in the Ascended Masters Lounge hanging out.
Yeah, hanging out with Babaji and Yeshua and, Mother Mary and what have you. And I love all of them. Much respect to all these beautiful beings, but
this is the process of how we get there, right? So if you're still here doing the work with the rest of us, hey, you're awesome, because it is not easy, and kudos to everyone.
Yeah.
Just imagine, before we leave, this thought came into my mind, the collective dark night of the soul the planet's going through right now, and this like forced Kundalini awakening that's starting to happen, and the mass amount of people that are going to need help in healing, that are going to need to understand and be educated about what's going on, that are going to need the teachers. So this is why it is so important, if you are already, you've started down the road, like you've got, a foot in the door, like you're in the game, to do your work. Because think about all the awakening that's happening on the planet right now. What has happened? What is going on with people in this last year and a half? We know we don't need to throw the C and the V and the weird words
There's
around.
a lot of healing that needs to happen.
And there's a lot of healing needs to happen. So if you're aware of this and you are on this path, do your work so that we can help, because this planet only shifts as fast as all of us who came here to help and be those front runners get our butts out there and start helping.
Well, Yo Ray. Fairy?
Yes?
We had a conversation with this lovely fairy about doing that same thing, doing your internal work. Our beautiful planet, Terra, Gaia, is waiting on us. She's waiting for all of her children to be at collectively at such frequency so she can continue to go higher in frequency. So a lot of what's been coming up is, and it's very obvious wherever, for me anyways, it's very obvious. For us, wherever you drive, you see people that do not have a smiling face. Not that you have to have this all the time, because that's kind of a little creepy, but you can see that people are not happy, regardless of what the media is broadcasting all the time, right? But it literally shows where people are at. A lot of that stuff that needs to be addressed is on the surface, and it's in front of people's faces. And one of two things: either you can let it still be in front of your face, floating for as long as you want, or you can address it and move on and heal from it, and allow yourself to breathe a little bit better and feel a whole lot lighter. And the lighter you get, the more.
The lighter you get, the lighter you get.
Well, I almost had my fairy speak through myself. The lighter you get, the more fairy-ish you get. Meaning lighter. You glide up through your day a lot. Dude, you just did. My masculinity just went a couple of points down.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways.
And as we get silly and we say goodbye, if you'd like us to speak about something, a topic you can think of in any of our upcoming videos, you can email us at unityforgaia, same as our YouTube channel, at gmail.com, and we hope to see you soon.
Bye guys, have fun.
Until next time, namaste.
Be like an airy fairy and just glide away.